Get yourself a 12mm, knock these loose. Save the nuts. Put them to the side. Then disconnect your injector plugs. Sometimes they come out easy. I don't have the greatest strength in my hands, thanks to RA. But fuck it, we send it. I'll stop working when my hands stop working, you feel me? With an extra pause. I'm just trying to, there we go, so that they're out of the way. And then carefully pull at this rail. This side doesn't want to budge. So what you want to do, see if I can get it to focus. What you want to do is you want to remove these clips right here, the backside. It just helps you release the injector when you pull it out. And I'll do this off camera. So prepping the rail before installation. If you have a returnless system, like the RSX fuel system being a completely stock unit, you'll run this one for the quick disconnect. You'll cap the end because it's returnless. And when you're going to use this fitting, let's see where my thumb's at. And there's two O-rings, as you can see. You want to slide these into the notch on both sides when it's pushed down and installed, and then use the screws and put some Loctite, because obviously it's going to vibrate out, and if this cap comes out under pressure, even with two O-rings, you're going to have a fire. I don't care what anybody says, you will have a fire. All right, so basically it should look like that when it's done. And if you look really close, you'll see that the two brackets line up. You have to push them in, so that way it's pushing against this. And then tighten down the screws. I use red Loctite because I don't plan on taking that out. Or at least I can use some heat and get it out. And then you want to tighten these with hand wrench. That's what I use, just normal eBay hand wrench. It's not too fancy. You don't have to use the plastic spacers that come from factory, because the old rail is really thin and this is a lot thicker, so it spaces it accordingly. And all you want to do is just thread this in and reverse. Basically, after this installation, is just reverse order and putting the fuel rail on, the fuel line on for the fuel feed. Cycling the key a couple times to check for leaks, turn it on, look for leaks, and everything else is good. Shout out to Bull Boost for Performance for hooking me up. I obviously have a speech impediment today. Again, anytime I say that, it's like a tongue twister. It's Bull Boost Performance. Thanks a lot, guys, and then I will show you guys once it's done. So there it goes, installed. There's 6mm Allen heads. Just in case you need to know, plug in your injector rail, your injectors on your injector rail, and then this is where we lead into an issue. You will definitely have to use a non-cruise control style bracket, so that means you will lose your cruise control in order to use that quick disconnect fitting. Now, there's a way to solve it. It does come with an AND fitting, which I believe to be 8 AN. It's a little bit big, but if I can get the fitting that goes from the rail and a hose and goes all the way to the quick disconnect that's on the firewall, then I have that taken care of. But until I figure out which choice I'm going to go with, kind of stuck. Can't drive the car. I just put all new AC stuff on it, but won't be able to even test out the AC till I figure that out. But until then, appreciate it. Shout out to Bull Boost Performance for helping me out. See, I got the name right this time perfectly. But thanks again, guys, for hooking me up. And if you guys need anything, K series, B series, D series, H series, F series, anything else besides Honda as well, they got it. Hit them up. All right, so I had to order a Devsport fuel line with a 6AN end and the fitting for this fuel rail. Long time wait. It was like 3 weeks of wait time. I just ran it through there. I have not bolted it down with a wire grommet yet, just because I wanted to make sure that nothing's leaking. And then back here is the factory fuel line, and it has one of these slip nuts that you go over it, and it pushes against the actual factory flare, which creates a tight, snug fit when you put the 6AN male fitting on it. So you tighten it on, and it's pushing the factory flare that's on the line, and it's squeezing it in the middle of that fitting so it can't burst off. And then this is a 6AN 90 right there. And then once it just goes down, it goes on there real nice. To take that whole thing off, there's two 10mm bolts. Actually, there's 4 altogether to take this bracket off that covers up that factory feed line. And you can see kind of where the blue paint's at right there on the firewall. That's what was holding it. And then you take off the quick disconnect on the fuel line, and then once you're there, you can run it to wherever, however you like. I'm gonna run it against the block. I'm gonna just mount it real nice, like down there somewhere next to the shift cable. That way it's secure and it's not rubbing against anything. And then that's it right there. All I gotta do is check for some leaks, and it should be good to go.